I'm Hassan.
And I'm Bruner.
And today we'd like to unveil the BruSham turret. So we wanted to go over a couple of things. First we'll talk about what we wanted to build at the beginning, then we'll talk about what we actually built, and then we'll explain the differences between what we actually built and what we wanted to build, and why we had to make those changes.
And then at the end of the video, we'll be unveiling the BruSham turret. Our initial plan was to build a rotating turret that would actually identify enemy objects based on color using an RGB color sensor.
What we actually built is a stationary turret that takes in a keyboard input that tells it to fire or to cease fire. We also implemented a light that lets the user know when the turret is firing and when it's not firing.
Since we were unable to make the motor change directions, we tried a few different methods, one being multiplexer. Couldn't get that to work.
No.
And then we also tried with...
we were trying to find the bipolar transmitter.
We could not get a hold of the bipolar transistor, and that was our downfall for the rotation of the turret.
Additionally, we ran into multiple problems with our sensor. So we initially planned to use an RGB color sensor to detect green and red objects and distinguish them as enemy and friendly. So when we actually went to Creatron to buy the sensor, we found out that objects had to be placed directly on the sensor for it to detect which color it was. And obviously for a ranged turret it doesn't work very well. So instead we pivoted and we tried to use a ultrasonic sensor that would detect enemies within a given range. And the sensor was originally built for the Arduino board, and we thought that we could create novel Verilog code for it, but given the time constraints, it was just unrealistic to try and completely port over this sensor into an incompatible system.
So instead, we decided to use keyboard input to control the firing and cease firing of our turret. On top of that, we decided to mount it a little bit higher to give it further range, and we also implemented a warning LED light that turns on when the fire is initiated.
So now, without any further ado, we'd like to unveil the BruSham turret.
Ready? And then keyboard.